bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened from my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awfully hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your haughtiness. But still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping, and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Written by Maya Angelou. As I said, we're here, and you may hear some things again. We're here for health care, reproductive rights, birth control, human trafficking, domestic violence and abuse, and a invisible war on women. I'm here to talk about those women that suffer, and men too. I won't just be biased to say women. I'm here to speak to you today on sexual trauma in our military. Service members may expect to face trauma in a line of duty, like coming under fire from an enemy, but sexual assault of harassment is different. You can expect to see a gun pointed at you, but when it comes from beside you, it's totally something altogether different. It happens during military service, comes from within your own ranks. You face an enemy that's in front of you, but not the one in the foxhole with you. But it's not related to your mission. You're there to do a job, but yet you become under attack by your own person, the one that's fighting with you and fighting for you, but yet they're fighting against you in some way or another. See, I don't understand what goes on because I wasn't a victim of sexual assault in the military, but I talked to so many who have, not only women, but men. It comes under the domestic violence rule. It's not about sex. It's about control, people. It's about control. And I want to say to you today, I stand here as a beautiful black woman. I served in the United States Navy, and I'm not ashamed to tell anybody. I wore the uniform, and I stood behind the flag. So yet I can stand here today and tell you, nobody is allowed to enter my vajayjay without my permission. So I want to tell our government, stay out of my vajayjay. I don't need you going with me when I go get a pap smear. I don't need you to go with me when I go get a mammogram. See, I'm a big girl, and I can handle that on my own, but still yet, again, I rise.
Our next speaker is a domestic violence survivor. She has spent the last 2.5 decades, something like that, working on behalf, advocating for domestic violence survivors, and she's gone to the court, she's taught teachers, she's done so many things, and now she's really spread out, and she's a filmmaker. Her name is Ket Gruelle.
Hey, y'all. Well, I hate to say it, but I locked my keys and my notes in the car, so I'm going to totally wing this, so I hope that's all right. But I also have photographs with me. I have materials with me, and I have my dog. together, so I guess up here she comes. But one thing I want to warn you all about is the photographs that I'm going to show you, because I feel obliged to tell the truth about violence against women in North Carolina. So the photographs that I'm going to show you are real cases that are real North Carolina victims and survivors. So some of you, the media guy that was here said, oh, no, we can't show that. That's too graphic. We can watch shows on CSI with women with their eyes gouged out and their bodies cut in half, but we can't show the real thing because the real thing is too upsetting. So I'm going to begin with this stack of restraining orders. And I will tell you that every one of the people that applied for these orders of protection, this is from 1 year in North Carolina, they were all murdered after they applied for their orders of protection. These women represent all races, all faiths, all classes, gay women, straight women, but the one thing they had in common was what? That they were women. We have a war on women in North Carolina and around this country. The Violence Against Women Act has done a lot to address it, and one of the photographs will help make that point. But I urge you to go back to your communities and find out what it's like when a woman walks into the clerk of court's office, asks for an order of protection, and then what happens. So I'm going to start with this first picture. Now, this is hard to see. I'm going to hold it up. I might get somebody to walk it around. This is an Ashe County case. This woman, Deanna Walters, was kidnapped by her estranged husband. Estranged being the key word. The most dangerous thing for domestic violence victims to do is leave their abuser. 75% of the women who are murdered every year in North Carolina and around this country are murdered after they have left. So filling out an order of protection is a revolutionary act that a woman does to try to separate herself from her personal tyrant. That's what it's about. This woman, Deanna Walters, was kidnapped by her estranged husband. He also kidnapped their little girl. They were driven across country in an 18-wheeler while his cousin drove, and she was beaten for 5.5 days. The truck was finally stopped in Oklahoma, and Deanna got out of the truck looking like this. She was taken to the emergency department, and her husband was allowed to leave and go back to North Carolina. He was not arrested. When she came back to North Carolina looking like this, the local prosecutor in Ashe County said, I don't think I can do much with this case because she didn't try to run. She didn't try to run because her husband told her that if she did try to run, he'd kill their daughter. This is the reality of domestic violence in North Carolina. Here's the difference. Because of the Violence Against Women Act, which is now about to go before the House, so I urge everybody to call your representatives. Robbie was not prosecuted by the state of North Carolina. The DA said, no, I don't think I can do much with it. However, the advocate called and said, I think this is a federal case. This case was prosecuted in federal court, and Robbie was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. So this is why the Violence Against Women Act matters. I'll carry it. This next case, the family I'm involved with, Republican family from Alamance County. They watch Fox News all the time. So we have to get over this notion that it doesn't affect people from certain parties, from certain parts of the community, whatever. It affects all women, all races, all classes, all political stripes. So this is a picture of Jan Mills McPherson. Beautiful young woman, mother of a little girl. And Jan was one of those women that did everything right. She went to the court. She got her order of protection. She talked to the domestic violence people. She tried to get them to understand how dangerous her husband was. But her husband's family was politically connected. Yeah, I'll say connected. I'm just going to get myself in trouble. So despite the fact that he violated the order of protection over and over and over again, he was never arrested. And this is very, very common. So this is another thing I'd like for you to find out about in your communities. When an order of protection is issued and it's violated, is he held without bond? Because he should be. So Jan's husband violated the order of protection 9 different times. The last time, his mother showed up on the scene, and they had actually arrested him. But his mother called the local magistrate, and she said, "I don't want my son arrested." So he was let go. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, here's Jan dead. He killed her and then killed himself. So, we're told over and over again that we can't show the graphic nature of domestic violence. We can't talk about the reality of it. Women live with this all the time. They blame themselves and society blames them. I want to pose a question to you all. When's the last time y'all heard law enforcement go to a bank president after the bank has been robbed and ask the bank president, "Why the hell do you keep all this money here?" So why do we blame women for the abuse that gets piled on them from men? Why are we in this habit of blaming women for men's violence? And I have to say, I'm thrilled to see so many men here today. I want us all to give a big round of applause to the men who are here today, because it takes all of us. So I'm about to finish up a film on the history of the battered women's movement in America. You can go to the website and look at a lot of the footage that's up there. We've got some stuff up there for free. The website is www.privateviolence.com. But I am so happy that you all are here. It's freezing cold. I'm shaking too. But this shows that you all aren't going to just sit back and do your political activism through your computer. You're going to get up and you're going to walk out the door and you're going to do something about what's happening in the community, in our state, and around this country. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker has been an activist since she was a child. She takes on victims of crimes, victims of justice denied. She's done things like gotten the Martin Luther King Road, I don't know if it's Road or Avenue because I'm not from here. But anyway, and she broke the barrier. She was the first woman to be the head director of the maybe it's president, of the NAACP for Chapel Hill and Carrboro. Her name is Michelle Cotton Laws.
You know, that last speaker has stirred something even deeper in me, and I'm sure in all of us. That was evidence for those of us who are still unsure that we are in the middle of a war, women and men here against women. I am concerned that there are harsh winds blowing, and there are some who occupy seats behind us in the building behind us, that they can do whatever in the hell they want to do to take away the rights of women, and we're not going to do anything about it. In 2008, President Obama's campaign slogan was, "Yes, we can." It was a powerful slogan considering the odds that he faced in becoming the first male of African descent to occupy the presidency of the world superpower, these United States. But I'm reminded of Dr. Cornel West, who said that symbolized in many ways that we had hope on a tightrope. Today in 2012, I suggest that the slogan for us will not be "Yes, we can," indicating that we are hoping things are going to change, but our slogan and our war call is "Yes, we will." Make no mistakes about it. When women, as Mary B. and Erin and others have said, when we come together, united across race and ethnicities, socioeconomic statuses, neighborhoods that we live in, jobs and professions that we hold. When we come together, there is no power on earth that can stop us from moving forward an agenda that is progressive and advances and protects the rights of women. Oprah Winfrey's character, Sophia in The Color Purple, had a line after Harpo had beaten her or attempted to. She came up through the cornfields and she told Miss Seeley that she had given her son-in-law some bad advice. She said that you told Harpo to beat me. And all my life I've had to fight. I've had to fight my uncles. I've had to fight my brothers. I've had to fight my father. A girl child just ain't safe in a house full of men. Well, I say that all our lives as women, we've had to fight for our rights, fight for our reproductive rights, fight for voting rights, fight for equal pay, fight for jobs, fight for being recognized as first-class citizens. All our lives we've had to fight. But guess what, Congress? Guess what, General Assembly members here in North Carolina? A fight is what you wanted. A fight is what you got. Come May 8th. What's our rallying call? Remember our rallying call. Remember our war call. Come May 8th, we will defeat Amendment 1. Yes, we will. Come November, we will make sure that we vote people in to the into Congress and into the State House who are concerned and who are willing to protect women's rights. Yes, we will. We will continue to stand together, united with one voice, one mission. Yes, we will. We are going to send the message loud and clear by getting out to the polls and voting. Yes, we will. We're going to keep on fighting. Yes, we will. We won't back down. We're going to keep on standing. Yes, we will. We've got a long haul ahead of us. As someone mentioned before, we're in for a very long haul. But I'd like to read a poem that my sister Erin sent to me that was used in a speech of one of our beloved friends. It says, we will never give up. We may lose our youth. Some of us are going to lose sleep. We're going to even lose our patience, our sense of humor, and occasionally the understanding and support of people who love us very much, or at least say so. In return, we may have nothing to offer but our pride in being a woman and all our dreams that we've had for our daughters. That's why we can't turn around. And our nieces, that's why we've got to keep on standing. Granddaughters, that's why we've got to keep on fighting for the future and certain knowledge that at the end of the days, we'll be able to look back and say that once in our lives, when the time was right and now is the right time, we gave everything we had and we stood for justice until justice rolled down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Will we win, women? Yes, we will!
We've got singer, songwriting, recording artist Jeremy Gilchrist.
Mic check. All right, how's everybody doing? All right? Yeah! I'm going to play you a song that I wrote yesterday. It's called I Can't Believe We're Fighting This Still. I can't believe we're fighting this still. Of ourselves from government will. Love the women of this land. No, they don't always need me to hold their hand. Stay out of our rooms, stay out of their wounds. We want to live free and clear. It's time to end the war. It's time to say no more. Oppression is a stranger, have no fear. I can't believe we're fighting this still. The freedom of ourselves from government will. But round and round we go. Want to live free and clear. It's time to end the war. It's time to say no more. Oppression is a stranger, have no fear. Stay out of our rooms. Stay out of their wounds. We want to live free and clear. It's time to end the war. We're here to say no more. Oppression is the stranger, have no fear. Thank you guys very much. I just want to give a quick shout to all my people here from Occupy. We are with you guys. And one more special shout out to the Occupy women who have been very strong for the last 6 months. Many of them taking a rest in peaceful civil disobedience. So, all right. And everybody here, we're all part of the 99%, and we got to keep the fight going. If that's one thing that Occupy has taught, you got to keep the fight going. Don't give up. This is not just a one-day thing here today. Keep it going. Thank you very much.
Jen Jones is the Director of Communications for Equality North Carolina. And not too long ago, she ran across the state, 322 miles or something like that, to raise consciousness about Amendment 1. Well, that was just the beginning. Now she's leading a race to the polls to fight against Amendment 1. Jen Jones.
I got that on camera. I'm going to highlight it.
I'm Jen Jones, and I'm racing to the ballot. Who's with me? How y'all doing today? Did you see how when the lovely lady in orange spoke, the sun came out? That was hot. I like how you did that. How many of y'all know about Amendment 1? Raise your hands. How many? Everybody. Well, for that one person who doesn't know, let's do a little thing, shall we? Y'all got time? Yeah. Great. How many of you have ever been children? That's pretty easy, right? Children are harmed by Amendment 1. They could lose their rights to be visited by their parents, a woman. They could lose their rights to have that custody from that woman that has raised them all of their lives. Children are harmed by Amendment 1. What are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote against it!
That's right. How many of you want to live to a ripe old age?
No!
Seniors are impacted by Amendment 1 as well. It forces them to choose between pensions and Social Security if they are widowed, and the only legal recognition of valid and recognized domestic legal union in the state in a post-amendment world. What are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote against!
And feel free to boo whenever I say Amendment 1. I get that a lot.
Boo!
That's right. So as Roberta said, I ran 322 miles across this state. Yeah, it was stupid. But I did it because I'm not light, and I thought people would pay attention. I watched The Biggest Loser, don't you? And they did. And we heard from women all across this state, saw their faces and heard their voices, and they're going to do what on May 8th?
Vote against it!
That's right. We heard from a woman in Shelby, North Carolina. I can say that because I'm from here. In Shelby, a man stood up from the audience and said, well, we're just trying to protect the ideal family with Amendment 1. And a woman stood up and she said, oh, hell no.
Yeah!
She was a single lady. Put your hands up. Thank you, guys. And she wasn't going to take it anymore. She was a single woman. She has a male partner, yes. But she didn't want to be forced to get married in order to receive relationship recognitions and protections from our state's founding document. What are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote against!
That's right. I was in Bakersville. On one side were people bust in on the church van. On the other side was the Penland arts community. Everybody had on their tie-dye. It was hot, too. You can clap. That's right. A man stood up from the church bus and pointed at one of the women on the panel and said, you didn't love your child as much as I love my child.
Oh, my God.
Why was that? Because she wasn't the biological parent of that child. And all the women who rode on the church bus with that man gasped. They're with us now. Why is that? Because as Hillary said behind me, women are smart. And what are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote again!
That's right. So I was in Greensboro towards the middle of the run. My knee started to hurt, so I was just standing still for a minute. I stood still long enough for a mother from Greensboro to roll up on me with her child and say, you know what? Next Tuesday, I'm in a custody fight for this child here. I'm not her biological mom, but I'm very much her mom. And I'm worried that I'll have no shot at keeping her if Amendment 1 were to pass. Can I get a boo?
Boo!
What are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote again!
What are we going to do on May 8th?
Vote again!
What are we going to do?
Vote again!
Because when they could not get our votes, they decided to attack us. Okay? Y'all got time for one more thing?
Yeah!
I got a text this morning. It's great. I love this iPhone.
Yay, iPhone!
Steve Jobs. It's from my friend Sarah Madden. She said, when I went to vote, and a mother was there with her 2-year-old, and they were leaving and getting their vote against stickers. And the mother told him, see, so anyone can be a family. That's hot. What are we going to do?
Vote again!
When are we going to do it? What are we going to do?
Vote again!
When are we going to do it?
May 8th!
What are we going to do?
Vote again!
When?
May 8th!
If you haven't already. I'll see you at the polls. Thank you so much.
Well, she's got a job if she wants to be a cheerleader, doesn't she? She said she wasn't one, but I believe she was. Linda Coleman knows a lot about education, jobs, and politics in North Carolina. Before running for office, she worked in human resources and led that department in the community college system. She served as Wake County Commissioner and was elected to the State House for 3 terms. 3 years ago, Governor Perdue appointed her the State Personnel Director. And now, y'all, she's running for North Carolina Lieutenant Governor. Linda Coleman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Linda Coleman, and I am running for Lieutenant Governor. But let me just tell you one thing right now. We are at a crossroads. Women are at a crossroads. When we look back at the 20th century, the first half of it was about women's suffrage, and that was the right to vote. So women earned that right to vote in the first half of the 20th century. And in the last half of the 20th century, we saw a lot of progress being made on behalf of women, women's rights. We saw progress in terms of not having advertisements saying male preferences. We saw the President, Bill Clinton, whose first law that he signed into law was the Family Medical Leave Act. We are at a crossroads. So we had our history as women defined for us in the 20th century. Now in the 21st century, we are going to leave a legacy. And your being here today is a part of that legacy. So your being here just doesn't start with your presence here. It means that you are here, and what you do today is going to have a lasting impact on the rest of this century, because what we do on May 8th will determine in great part what will happen for the rest of this century. And this century began, the second decade of this century, or the first decade of this century, began when President Barack Obama signed his first law, which was the Lilly Ledbetter Law. All impacting women. And so what we've got to do, we've got to stay the course. We've got to make sure that women are elected, because I will tell you, if you are not at the table, you are where? You're on the menu. Okay? We don't want to be on the menu. We want to be at the table. So I will say that what we are witnessing today, when we look at all of the progress that we made in the 20th century, what we are witnessing is the unraveling of history. And what we've got to do is to knit history back together so that it tells the story of women who were courageous enough, who were bold enough to look history in the face and say to them, we are not going to tolerate what it is that you are doing to us, because we are better for it. We know that our society is better because of the impact that women have had on our society. I think Jen Jones and all of the others have said everything that needs to be said today. Amendment 1, you know, there are so many people who think that Amendment 1 is just about gay rights. That's what they think. But Jen told you that it's much more than about that. It is about really salvaging the rights of our children, our families, and women and seniors. And there are people who don't understand that. Anybody would tell you that our Constitution is a very, very sacred document. And when we have people who know that there are so many folk who don't understand what Amendment 1 is about, and yet they want to place it on the ballot, that is absolutely insane. That is insanity. And what we've got to do is make sure that Amendment 1 is not on the November 6 ballot by going to the polls on May 8th to make sure. And so I ask you to pay attention. Take your friends, take your families, take your neighbors, take your co-workers, everybody you can. Go to the polls on May 8th if you already haven't. I thank you and have a great evening.
We have another speaker who we didn't know that she was going to be able to come, but her topic is important. It's about immigrant rights. Her name is Erica Torres.
Thank you all for being here and for your action for justice. My name is Gail Ferris. I'm head of Witness for Peace Southeast. For the last 26 years, I've walked across North Carolina with immigrants and farm workers. We walk in support of our brothers and sisters. Across the United States, the detention and deportation of immigrants is on the rise. In North Carolina, thousands of immigrants are picked up on misdemeanor and detained in isolated centers away from their families and friends. Families are being torn apart, and children are being made orphans. We oppose efforts of the current North Carolina state legislature to enact immigration policies that would lead to racial discrimination and that separates families, denies due process and equal opportunity. Our immigrant brothers and sisters need our support now more than ever. We must reject the criminalization of immigrants and demand that federal policymakers fix a broken immigration system that bankrupts for-profit prisons. Erica Torres is here. She is not documented. She's going to tell you briefly about her experience as a person who was brought here by her parents many years ago.
Hello, my name is Erica Torres. My family and we migrated to the States over 20 years ago. My father had been coming to work in the farm fields long before my siblings and I were born. When our family started struggling to come up with the money to survive when we needed money to even put food on the table, when you don't even have the money to put supper for your children, when you don't have the money to buy clothes, to buy shoes for your children, you consider that, or I consider that, extreme poverty. When you see a mother that struggles to go to the grocery store and try to figure out what comes first. She knows she can't bring milk. She knows she can't bring enough vegetables. She knows she can't bring fruit. When she has to struggle to support her children, you know that parents will do what they can to survive. And my parents, what they did was they came to the States. And part of the... And a large reason for us, for my family, it was because of extreme poverty. In the mid 1990s, after the free trade agreement between Mexico and the United States, I saw my uncles, my aunts, bringing their children to the States because they had lost their farms. They could no longer farm and make a living out of them. They sold what they had in order to come and make a living here in the States, doing farm work, labor, construction work. And now with so many anti-immigrant laws, such as, for example, 287G, where drivers, parents who are taking their children to school fear being pulled over by a police officer because they look Hispanic, because they have roadblocks around schools. They fear going to grocery stores. They fear picking up their kids at school. And a lot of these families are the people who work out in the fields. They work hard to put food on our tables. They came here with a dream that their children would go to school and become professionals that would better themselves, that would better their families, that will support the community that they live in, that they have come to love. A lot of us have been in the States over half of our lives. We speak English, we know the culture, we love the culture, and we see this as the country that is a part of us. And it's very hard to imagine ourselves out of here, because this is what we know. And like Gail mentioned, a lot of families are being separated. Parents are being stopped and handcuffed and sent to deportation centers, leaving their children behind, where their children are being sent to social services, and they're being cared by strangers. And later on, they're being sent back to Mexico with relatives, a country that they've never been to, a culture they've never experienced, a language that they do not know. And for a lot of these families, there's not a line that they can get in so that they can apply for residency. There's not a line that a lot of these high schoolers, bright students that are coming out of high school and who are seeking a career, there's not a line for them to get into so that they can continue their educations and work hand by hand with the people, with the members of the communities that they have grown in. So for these and many other reasons, because we know that a lot of the families that are here working with you to make the communities better, the students that are going to school with your children, a lot of them live in fear, and a lot of them have hopes and dreams to better their communities, which are our communities, because they need a voice. We ask you that in May and in November you do, and that we all ask we ask for a federal immigration reform, and we ask for it now, because the injustices that a lot of these families are going through, the injustices of a student, a bright student that can be a doctor, that can be a teacher, that can be a social worker, to have them say to them, no, you cannot be better. You cannot go to school and become a better member of this community, be a part of this community. It's not justice. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening.
I want to thank y'all for coming out here in the cold weather and sitting here with us. But it was inspirational, wasn't it? And informational. Did you learn something you didn't know? I did too. And the speeches were so great to come out, and I want to say I really, really appreciate it. All of our organizing team is incredibly grateful, because we are going to move forward, and we're not going to sit and not vote or not stand up for ourselves. We're going to say enough is enough. Laura has got a real special song that's going to kind of put the icing on the cake.
But I'll play more than one just because we got cut short at first.
I drug these heavy speakers out here. I just want to use them a couple of times. Try to keep it slow. All right. You know, he's been a thorn in my butt for a long time.
Jeremy, amazing song. I gotta hand it to you, hon. You're amazing. Can't believe you wrote it yesterday.
Sugar snakes don't fly in the air and cats don't take to swimming. You can bet that Russ Limbaugh is scared to death of women. All back to the dark ages, give us a push. Hates all the ladies, but he used to love Bush. A few strong words to stir up the soup. Back to the fridge in his chicken coop. So lie, la la lie, la la lie, 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 la la lie, 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 la lie, lie, la lie, lie. Help me lie, la la lie, la la lie, 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 la la lie, lie, lie. The boys who they're out buying boots to do a little late night dashing. You and your ego off without a thought except hate and check cashing. You should be married to Pat Buchanan. You could lie in bed and do a childish plan. To hell with everybody but the right-wing male. What a boring fairy tale. Hope you die and come back as a woman or black and Jewish. You got it coming. Until then, come stop slumming. See me coming, you better be running. When I see what to see, cause I saw what I saw. I call it the death of Rush Limbaugh. And they named him Glenn, and thank God we ain't heard from him him, and John knows when. Turn it on and you can see products moving, tragedy, freak hating, freaking freaks every day of the week. Hater, rocks and tomatoes, you look good in alligator. Turn it on and you can see O'Reilly and Hannity floating to the top of the boulder turns of humanity. Haters everywhere, well, not ahead to think. Oh, let's love it. Got nobody to love. Love, let's love it. Got nobody to love. Hide behind your microphone and give the world a show. If you'd said that about the press 5 years ago, you'd be in a human pile in Guantanamo. Where is your heart? Where is your soul? Radio blabbermouth out of control. Radio blabbermouth out of control. It's love, it's love. Got nobody to love. Love, it's love. Got nobody to love. Hide behind that microphone and give us girls a show. Oh, y'all, I don't get it. Did we not flee to this unpromised land to get out of reach of some old red hand? What the hell? It's a democracy, not a republic. Oh, this love is got nobody to love. Oh, love, this love is got nobody to love. Hide behind the microphone.
Got 4 cops over there. Got 2 cops over there. I'm assuming that once this permit runs out, they're going to be getting us off this lawn.
You love this baby. Yeah, Patriots wear blue. Ask the policeman. Officer Bunch, thank you for your help earlier today. One more. You can walk out as you hear it, but I got this thing finished just in time this morning to put on the internet. It's probably got all kind of weird errors. Actually, one of the inspirers for this song is actually here in the audience. I will recognize you, Alex Sawyer. You may tell your friend in Ireland that she should have been here. Oh. Okay, we have one guitar off. You're going to run on the seat of our pants here. I'm telling you, if you stay for this one, you might like it, though. I'm not saying anything else. 1, 2, 7 more. I was talking talking with these two teenage girls. One from North Ireland, one from the States. I was asking about their favorite music, and they played me The Scientist by Coldplay. And they named some bands, they played cool songs. And they named some boys, played good guitar. But when it came to the women, they only mentioned hooker girl.